Hey, it's Richard here with Short Motor Cars. Today we are driving this fantastic 1978 GMC Jimmy. I'm so happy to get this thing out for a drive. It is a freshly restored truck. It's got really spectacular two-tone silver and white paint. It's a removable half cab with a removable hardtop on the rear. So just classic Jimmy styling. This one's got its original 350 small block in it, but it's been rebuilt and upgraded a little bit. They put some good pistons in it, put a mild performance camshaft, some aluminum cylinder heads, so it definitely makes a whole lot more power than it ever did back in 1978, which is really probably one of the worst years for performance for any domestic automaker, any automaker, period. So this thing's pretty sporty. It doesn't make huge power, but it is really pretty good. It's got great off-throttle response. It steers super nice. We're just coming to a stop here at a light. Don't need any steering effort. Probably my favorite thing about this truck, outside of the amazing color combo, the red interior, the orange plaid, the silver and white, it's how it drives. This truck drives like a brand new 1978 truck. And that's really hard to get. I mean, there's so many different aftermarket parts you can put on these. There's so much refurbishment you can do, and of course this one has had a ton of refurbishment all through the suspension, the drive line, the transmission, that has all been gone through. But it's the result that I think is really great about this truck. When I drive this truck, it takes me back to my childhood. My mom had one of these trucks for a few years when I was growing up. It was nowhere near as nice as this one. It was a real beater, but I loved it. I loved climbing in the back. I loved getting to ride up front. I loved the experience of being in one of these trucks. And of course, so many of us over the years have life experience with whether it's a Jimmy or a Blazer like this or a square body truck. And it just feels so good to be in one of these that works great and feels right. The way the steering feels, the brakes, how it goes around corners, the way it sounds. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's almost certainly a whole bunch better than it would have been in 1978. But this driving feeling is really, really terrific. Very light, typical GM power steering, super stable coming around the corners, great throttle response, a little bit of a throaty exhaust on it. Just super happy in traffic as we're shifting along here. Just a tiny amount of wind whistle out of the passenger vent window. Of course, it's basically impossible to get one of these that doesn't have wind whistle. And to be real frank, I think I might miss it if it was gone. I remember being in so many old square bodies over the years that all had like a matchbook or something, the cover of it folded up underneath the vent window lever to quiet it up or do whatever. And I can't remember ever being in one that didn't have a little bit of a wind whistle. So for me, that's a positive piece of nostalgia. Outside of that, gosh, the truck is really rattle-free. It doesn't have any vibration. The suspension's very smooth. We're going over a reasonably rough road here, and this truck is just absolutely comfortable. It's soaking up the bumps. It's super composed and confident in traffic. We're gonna go through another corner here onto an off-ramp. Again, just drama-free in the steering. Easy to drive around. And of course, the seating position and the ride height in this truck are a piece of what makes it such a great throwback. They didn't slam the truck. I'm not saying that couldn't be a great look for the truck. It's kind of right around that stock ride height. It's maybe just slightly lower than stock. But you sit up in the truck as though it were a new pickup truck. You get that commanding view of the road. You get to look out over the square hood. You're not looking up at trucks. And I mean, I love lowered stuff. I love stuff that's slammed. But for me, this is just a great piece of nostalgia. I don't know that I would move the ride height an inch on it. It's really, really good. Today we're driving around. It's a pretty cold day. There's maybe a flake or two of snow threatening here in Edmonton. It's right around 0 degrees or maybe -1, -2 Celsius. That's, I don't know, 37 degrees or 32 degrees for our friends in America. So pretty chilly. It's a really windy day today here as well. And the truck's great. It's comfortable. The heater's working great. I don't have to have the fan on high while we're driving here. It's nice and warm. Up at highway speed, we weren't getting blown around. It's not shimmying or shaking or any of that stuff. Stops, starts, goes, and just feels great. I just love the driving position in these trucks. Everything is, it just feels like a familiar friend. I've driven lots and lots of these, whether it's a Jimmy or another square body truck over the years. And most of them are real pieces of crap, frankly, but still put a lot of miles on them, and it feels like an old friend to sit here and be behind the wheel on this 78 Jimmy. What a great truck. What a unique color combo. What a great combination this truck is of new and old parts. Everything in here has been touched, but so much of the original pieces of the truck that were great and have aged in weather have been left alone, and I really like that. Pieces like the door trim and the seats, and a lot of the interior fixtures are just nice original pieces that haven't required a restoration or maybe gotten scrubbed up. And that to me is really special because it's so easy to buy every reproduction part in the world for these trucks. But they're just not quite the same as original items in terms of fit and finish, and the touchy feely on the parts. So having one that's all original pieces does show small amounts of wear in certain spots. It reminds you that this truck is 45, 46 years old, and it feels like it's pretty new, but it's not. So I love it a lot. I like the stock radio, the dash. I love the old cubby hole that I don't know what the heck you'd ever put in there, but I love seeing it there. I think that's an AC vent on an AC truck. The silver dash matched with red, the spectacular plaid interior, the correct laser type console. Everything just comes together on this truck, and I think this is a worthy candidate for somebody who's looking for a truck that they can show, something they can drive every day, put kids in, take them to hockey practice or wherever it is you're going. This feels absolutely as comfortable as a brand new truck, and I'm having a great time driving it. Settles down to an idle very nicely at a stop. It stops with tons of confidence. It's very composed. Goes around corners really nicely. I mean, don't get me wrong, this is no sports car, but it feels great. It feels just the way I always wished a square body like this would be. And the fact that it's in a pretty special package. It's not, just a square body, but it's a Jimmy. It's a two-wheel drive truck. It's a 78. It's a great color combo. It's got all these original touches and finishes to it. I'm just in love with it. I'm gonna miss it when it goes, and I really hope it goes to a great home. Thanks so much for being with us on our drive. We're just about to pull back into Sherwood Motor Cars here. I am sure pleased to get to take this thing for one last little spin with you guys before the snow flies. If you get the chance, you should check this truck out. And here we are back at Sherwood Motor Cars. Thanks everybody. We'll see you next time.